question that has been on everyone's mind since the release of RWBY Roman Holiday has been, is Neapolitan? Okay, so there is a passage in this book that is very something. It's a little bit of something. I mean, there's a lot in this book. Let's just go over, I guess, that there is main text, I guess, and there is subtext, right? There's like a Little Mermaid-like trans analogy in here, but then there's also something a little bit gay. And so, thank you for attending Calxiyn's royal court today, so we can decide whether or not Neapolitan is one
I
of
like
the,
how instead of saying
mafia.
gay, you just like generally like wave at the two of us.
I was gonna say,
like,
I was gonna say
like
one
these
of us.
two fruits.
But I had to think about it. I was like, oh well, what should I say? Alphabet mafia is what I've heard.
What things do we have in common with Neo? Criminal background.
Oh my god.
Loathing from
dyed
high
hair.
School. Dyed hair.
So, we're basically there. I think we're fine. Oh, do you remember, oh my god, that you had said, I know that this is so random, I'm so sorry. You had said that trans women can either code, drive, or like do math or something like that. Do you remember which ones it was?
No, I said that there's 3 careers for trans feminine people, that you can either be a computer programmer.
Right.
Or a computer scientist. A vaporwave artist, or a cam girl.
Okay, well, Neo has computer skills. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We will get, this video has such chaotic energy already. You guys already know what you're in for, all right? And so we're gonna talk about, like, the text first, okay? Like, she kind of has a crush on Roman. She does kiss Roman on the cheek at one point. It's a little up in the air.
She's never shown to really like another woman romantically.
But there is something in here, though, okay? I am for bisexual or pansexual Neo, okay? Because I think that, that's valid. We love to see it, okay? But here's something that was said in the book that was giving me a little, okay? So they're talking about the headmistress of the school. This is Neo's point of view.
Mrs. B.
The headmistress, too, wore the same jacket, blouse, and dress as the students' trivia had seen, but on her, the outfit was stunning, smart, sexy, and a little dangerous. This is how it was meant to be worn. In comparison, the girls looked like they were dressing up in their mother's wardrobe. So that was kind of an interesting
You know what's
line.
a really difficult thing for me, personally?
What?
Is that it used to be that, like, people would make some, like, generalization about men. And then when I still counted myself among you, I was like, well, that's not true, because X, Y, Z.
Right.
Now I can't do that. Part of me is like, well, I bet you a lot of straight people probably do that about people of the same gender. But then I'm like, I can't ask myself. I sure shit can't ask you.
Well, okay.
We can get Arnold in here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think Arnold would ever look at, like, another guy and be like, yeah, they're
Arnold's
clearly
very
smart, sexy,
straight.
and dangerous. You know what I mean? So here's the thing about this, right? Is that, could this just be, like, a young woman admiring a powerful, like, a female figure, obviously someone with a lot of power. It's the headmistress of the school. She carries herself with a lot of, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, she carries herself with a lot of strength and influence and power, right?
Material.
But
I could crack an egg.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, she could be saying this for that reason, right? Because it's that's like, a powerful older woman. It's like, do I want to be you, or do I want to, move into an apartment in a U-Haul with
Wow,
you?
you're so gay you can't even make
You know
words.
what I mean? Yeah, it's
She's not even in the room. We don't even really know what she looks like.
Yeah, but the U-Haul lesbian type. Anyway, and so that's what I was trying to say. It's like, that's, I guess, the question that a lot of girls may ask themselves is, do I want to, U-Haul with you, or do I want to, I want to be you,
or
right?
be with you?
Exactly, that's the question. Exactly, that is the safe for work version of that is what I was trying to get at. In not
you could
so
have
many
gotten
words.
more not safe for work.
Well, no, I was trying to be safe for work.
Do I want
but I
you to
couldn't
be
think of
my
an
best
explanation.
friend, or spit in my mouth?
Anyway, and so, yes, I was trying to find a way to not say fuck you, is basically what I was getting at. Anyways, and so then there's another line where she finds her charming, I think, and she's, like, embarrassed of herself, like, being in her, like, her soot pajamas, obviously, and so, I don't know, like, there's some interesting things here with this interaction, and you could read it either way, right? Like, you could, I think that it's up to interpretation, but I feel like that considering that you have, like, Coco thinking Glinda is hot, and that's sort of like, how do you say, like, there was a precedent set of, like, the lesbians think that the teachers are hot in the RWBY books, and so I don't know, I'm just saying.
In the world of RWBY, there are things we know to exist. Grim, dust, and gay teenagers that thirst after their much older
teachers. Yes, exactly. And so that's what I'm sort of thinking about. I'm like, I feel like that this is like the definition of like, you're in high school and you're like, you know, going through your sexuality and you have a crush on like a hot female teacher or like male teacher, whatever the case may be. Right?
That.
Well, neither have I. I'm just saying, like, I'm sure that
it's a thing that
happened somewhere
Maybe
to someone.
We need to ask Arnold about that one as well.
And so, yeah, like, I feel like that, like, it could definitely, again, it's up for interpretation, but I don't know. Like, just the smart, sexy, and dangerous thing, like, I feel like that's just so specific, you know what I mean?
I guess
and there's also this idea of like, oh, well, compared to her, all the other girls look like they're just dressing up in their mom's wardrobe. Like, something about that seems charged with, like, that's a real woman, you know what I mean? Like, unlike all these other girls, like, you know, like, I don't know, there's just something about that that's kind of like, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know, there's definitely something. There's something going on. It'd be nice if they confirmed it. I don't know when they'll have a chance to do that, though, because they confirmed Coco, they got a panel at RTX.
They also straight up said that she was like a lady killer.
I know, but they
were pretty
it,
like,
right?
You know,
but I'm just saying, if E.C. Myers ever sees this and wants to confirm whether or not Neo's bi, you know, we'll take it. Do you want to talk about, though, like the kind of accidental rep in this book?
I'm not entirely convinced that the bi thing is on purpose, but
well, okay.
There was also like,
I feel like, but doesn't that make so much sense? She's Neapolitan. Why would she be heterosexual when she can be bi or pan? Do you understand what I mean? She's not one flavor. She's all of the flavors. So why would she not also want all of them?
Of all the ice creams, Neapolitan is definitely the most fruity.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, would it not make sense?
You know,
if any character, I don't know.
It's for the indecisive.
Listen, maybe I'm just projecting.
Not to call us indecisive, however.
You can't get more indecisive than a gender fluid bisexual. So, yeah. Anyway,
I think that's what I told you when you came out to me.
I know.
But on the topic of gender fuckery, that's the biggest. I know you got a couple things from her being like, oh, she might like her. And like,
maybe I'm just projecting. Maybe I'm projecting myself onto Neo. I don't know.
I think there was a lot more stuff that just. Identity is a funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so the most salient part of my identity that I've had to grapple with in my life is being trans.
Mm-hmm.
For other people, it could be many things. It could be a religion, or it could be an ethnicity, or it could be a language. It could
or maybe
be a
something that you do. As well, like grappling with, you know, a lot of gifted kids. They go to college with all the other gifted kids.
Exactly. It could be those presuppositions you have about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like that song, Stick to the Status Quo from High School Musical, cinematic masterpiece. You still haven't let me watch it with you and Arnold. I'm a little salty. So when Neo has struggles with her identity, I imagine that people from all different experiences with kind of very salient...
Oh, I see what you're getting
could have related to that. Like, if you had disabilities, and, like, you also could not speak, I imagine that a lot of what she went through was related to you a lot.
Like voice-to-text and stuff like that.
Yeah, voice-to-text and how the voice on that, like, Stephen Hawking thing doesn't quite sound like how you imagine. Yeah. I also think that if you had, like, a very repressive, you know, place growing up, you then get out of that and you get to experience stuff. You might not be queer, but it's still liberating.
It's kind of like, I guess in a sense, The Little Mermaid, which I brought up earlier. It's like, you can read The Little Mermaid as like, you know, you want to be a musical theater major, but your parents are saying that you either be a doctor or a lawyer, and those are the only two. Yeah. You know, you could like see it as that, or like, you know, also, like, your parents don't understand your interests, but then a lot of people look at The Little Mermaid and they can see it through, like, a queer lens specifically. Like so I get what you're saying.
If you were, like, alt-faction punt kids and you scared your conservative Christian family, I bet you could relate with Neo being like, I can wear my own clothes and I can be out of the control
and I can dye my hair and, you know, all of those things.
But at least with me, it's like there's just some things that felt especially trans. It's like, well, she takes control of how she wants to dress. It's very radically different than the way she was forced to throughout
new
most
name
of her
as
life.
well.
She changes her hair, but and like that could also be like if you got really into like being a goth.
Yeah.
But you grew up in like Nebraska. right? There's no...
Yeah.
That could be that, but
so basically what Hunter's saying is that, like, at the core, coming-of-age stories and identity-related coming-of-age stories, you can probably relate to it no matter what identity you're grappling with. But there are things in here that feel almost uniquely trans in a way that you wouldn't necessarily find in, like, I don't know, what's another coming-of-age story? Hunger Games? Is that coming of age? I don't know. Question mark? That's a big question mark.
The Breakfast Club?
Yeah, that's
pretty straight.
Much better. High School Musical, again, maybe. I don't know. But yeah.
A lot of the people from the Breakfast Club grew up and then also became revolutionaries. So that was fun for them. And so... But with her, it's specifically the two things. For me, it's the name and it's the total change of identity.
Yeah.
I think it's the like losing your family, getting a found family, completely stripping your past name and identity, not going by. I just that
she did keep part of her identity.
I guess that is true, but she's now Neapolitan. She's not trivial vanilla.
Wouldn't you argue though that you've also kept part of yours though?
I mean, I also was the good fortune to be born with a gender neutral name.
Yeah.
So. And my parents
I'm just saying it's not a requirement to like throw out your life in the trash. That's basically what I'm saying. But I do understand what you mean.
But it's like the idea of your parents don't respect you and your identity, and then you change parts of yourself and your identity. And
I just wanted to specify that if anyone was wondering.
You don't need to do that. My parents were chill. If they weren't, maybe I would have rebelled a little bit more, and I'd be dripping in like goth attire right now.
Yeah.
I might have more fans that way. But with her, it seems very, at least when I read that, I was like, oh, this is really trans to me. I think that speaks to that particular experience, although as you pointed out, it's not universal. How she kind of made her own...
Or it's not singular. It may be universal in the sense that everyone has an identity crisis, but it's not specific.
Maybe people, I mean, I guess so, but it doesn't have to look like Neo. But but it's common enough, and if it's enough of a trope that it felt that way.
Yes.
It's kind of like how, like they never...
It's a Venn diagram, I guess. There are some things that are general to everyone, and there are some things that, like, you put the trans circle in the Venn diagram, and there are things that fit in the middle. That's, I think, a good way to maybe explain it, But
with her, it just works. When I was reading the book, I got the sense, like, oh, this is like, if only, like, if Trivial was, like, a dude, and then that's the only way then it would be, like, perfect. It would be a trans story.
So you're saying that
it's literally
everything else...
It is a trans story that they just took out the gender changing from. Is how it feels to me.
So you're basically saying, like, that you could have Trivia having been originally
a guy,
and nothing would change.
You could add three sentences to it.
Yes.
And it would work perfectly well because so much of the story already feels.
I feel like I agree with that, to be honest.
It's kind of like,
do
you ever watch that? I was thinking about this recently. You ever watch that not live action, stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah.
You know that elf that wants to be a dentist?
Yeah.
He's pretty gay.
He is,
He lisps a lot. He's really effeminate. If you were just like, he wants to be a dentist and he likes boys. If they just added that likes boys line, it would be like, oh yeah, what an icon.
No one would be surprised.
No one would be surprised because everything about his personality makes so much goddamn sense that he's gay.
Yeah.
But it's like God made 90% of a gay person, or in Neo's case, a trans person, but forgot to flip that last switch, and then Neo came out, and she just confused everyone for the rest of her life.
In the case of the Rudolph movie, though, we probably should acknowledge that may have to do with stereotypes in a way back
but it's
from
also
that
like
time. But he wasn't a villain or anything either. He was a hero.
Guy. But like that whole movie's about like outcasts, and then they go to like the island. The island of misfit toys is basically San Francisco.
Is this what we're gonna do? Oh my God! Is this what we're gonna do for Christmas? We're gonna do a whole analysis of why.
About how.
What is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
really? It's the greatest queer stop motion animated film of this generation.
I love that.
But yeah, it's the same thing. It's just it feels desperately trans, but they just didn't flip that last switch. But then again,
do you wish that they did?
On one hand, it's like, it would be fun if they did. I always wanted, like, trans Neo. I always kind of got that sense from her. It's like, if you can change how your body looks.
Oh,
like,
I mean, we talked about that.
I think most people would have a field day. I would have a fucking vacation.
Yes.
But with her, it's just, if a gay tree falls, if a gay subtext tree falls in a forest,
yes,
and only straight writers are around to hear it, does it still make a noise? I like to think it still makes a noise. Mind you, I don't know the sexuality of any of the writers.
You're basically saying...
But you see what I'm getting? Like,
you're basically saying it doesn't really matter if she's trans because she's trans in our hearts.
She's trans
like,
enough
maybe,
to me.
like, you know, the transness was the headcanons we built along the way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need that
E.C. Myers and Carrie, and I mean, hey, if they want to co-sign this, I'm all for it. But I don't really need them in the same way that I don't need them to, like, confirm that the dentist elf was gay. Yeah. We all know dentist elf was gay.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and so it's like, it's one of those things where you will keep that headcanon and you will believe.
It's me.
And you're not going to be like, Eddie, why didn't you make Neo gay? Like, you're not going to go at him on Twitter about it, but you know, it doesn't matter because it's relatable enough.
Yeah.
For you, yeah.
It's at the end of the day, I find that when you talk, because a lot of time, most of the books I read, I don't talk to people about other than my family and my partner, and they have to listen to me.
They have no choice.
Most of the time, it's a very, like, solemn experience. So, like at the end, so at the end of the day, what I decide goes.
Yeah. And so, well, now that we're putting this on the internet, all of you have to agree with Hunter.
Yes.
And so, yes, in conclusion...
We'll send you to the island of misfit toys.
Is Neo pan or bi? Possibly. There's a strong chance that I feel like they will confirm she is. Is she trans? No, but she's trans enough for us. So, I guess that's, yeah. I mean, we talked about that, too, in the gender fluid video. Yes. I was like, she turned into Oscar. I would love that. I don't know if I'm just projecting, but that's why I feel like...
I don't know why, like, Penny and Neo are like my favorite characters in RWBY, and I both headcanon them as being trans.
It's like they're your favorite trans characters that aren't trans.
Yeah,
like
but
Elsa
also I almost wonder if
if
like that's like the most, like the highest honor I can give to a fictional character.
I think
like,
so.
I think you're gay, and I put that little crown on their head.
Noah to put Neo and then put a little tiara on Neo's head, and maybe a ribbon that says trans. What do you call it? Miss Universe, but maybe something else. I don't know what you.
Hunter thinks you're the inaugural Hunter's Universe queer 2021.
Oh boy. Okay. Anyways, so I think we're good. I think we're done. We've gotten it all out of our system now. Hunter's Universe 2021.
I gotta go in the other room and ask Arnold some questions.
Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today. I hope you learned something. We learned a lot of things today. This video's energy. Anyway, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.